What does it mean to be human? In any time or place. It's as simple as that. But it's a big question we all contemplate at some point or another. My name is Dennis Blanton, and I'm Associate Professor of Anthropology here at JMU. The project I've embarked on really is to tell the story of a Native American province that we call Capache. That name comes from the Spanish who visited it. My focus is on the very end of that long story, which is the 16th century. Hernando de Soto, he landed in what's now Florida in 1539, and he wandered throughout the southeastern United States. That expedition that Hernando de Soto led passed through Capache. We got an invitation to go to this place called Deer Run Plantation, which coincides with the location of Capache.
I came down here to buy a hunting plantation because I'm a big quail hunter, and we hunt a couple times a week. Or when we bought the first place, we realized that there was much more to it. So one of the things we got in the package was this vast collection of arrowheads that all had come from this property. When I first called Fernbank Natural History Museum in Atlanta, and I knew the lady that was the CEO, Susan Nugent was her name. And so Susan and Dennis came down, spent some few days here. To be honest, he was not impressed with our arrowheads. We were pretty impressed with them, but he was not. And then he said, do you have any pottery? And one of the guys that worked for us said, bucket loads. It was one of those moments where he said, take me to the spot where you found that.
When we went there, I knew already that scholars, through generations, reached a consensus that that part of Georgia was one that De Soto passed through. But no one had ever found tangible evidence of that. But starting really with a JMU expedition that I included many students on, this was in 2014, we recovered the first Spanish artifact, which was this beautiful glass bead that we know had been made in Venice. The location of that first find is the location of Hernando de Soto's encampment, and the kinds of artifacts, the quantities of artifacts we're getting, all suggest that.
This may be one of the first sites where a European encounter with Native Americans took place in America. It predates Jamestown by years. It predates the lost colony of Roanoke. It predates Plymouth Rock.
Let's do it. Let's go learn some more.
I'm Kyle Mitchell, and I'm a JMU alum. So I took Intro to Archaeology and just fell in love with it. That class was with Dr. Bland. And I took 2 other courses with him and some other archaeological courses and got to do some field work. A lot of moving dirt, digging shovel tests, which are basically just holes straight down in the ground. Everything that they find that could possibly be period correct, we mark with these pink flags. And then I go back through and mark all of them on our map. We basically have a program in here where I stand over the artifact and we have numbers for them, and I put the number in and it plots exactly where it is on the GPS.
This is 226, 218, 223. This is a good one. It's a good chance that's a Spanish bullet, but we'll see. We're not certain, but we'll respect it that way.
Well, it's the lead shot for an arquebus. So essentially it's a musket ball.
This is highly likely to be a 16th century Spanish artifact. The grim aspect of this is the chain was used for the most part to shackle Native Americans. So these are essentially the first slave chains in the New World. This trip, the most significant discovery undoubtedly is a fragment of a Spanish sword, a 16th century Spanish sword.
Well, at first I knew it was something, And then I didn't even check it out really closely because Jim Legg, who works with us, is really the go-to person a lot of times to show off things that we're not too certain about. And he said, "You won't believe what you got here." And Dennis was getting ready to head out to go to the other site, and we kind of flagged him down.
The artifact that we were most startled by is this thing, which is the pommel of a 16th century Spanish sword. So you can see in the bright light, it's got this decorative pattern on the top. This kind of thing we might dream about finding, but we would never expect to find. So it was electrifying, literally. If you think about archaeology and you want to convey what it's about, it's not what you find, it's what you find out, right? It's what you find out about people. The artifacts are just a bridge. They're a means to an end. They're not the end. We're ultimately about understanding people in another time and place. So almost every archaeologist, certainly in the United States today, is trained as an anthropologist. Anthropologists tell the story of humanity.